left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. The way we would do things is you have one, we cut it into a pie of basically four pieces. Okay. This is one's territory, two's territory. So you'll have usually one and two are going to be your units where you have a tank or two that's going to hold the point, give defense, things like that, right? Then your three and four are going to be your back quarters, okay? Your back left and your back right. In there, you're going to want to have a mix of bruisers, IGVG, your healers, and fire staff. To have a really good attack force, you're going to want to at least have four really solid, maybe five fire staffs in there because they need to control dirt. And when we go through the VOD, I'll show you exactly how, because I was a IGVG at the time, or Ice Gauntlet Fire Staff at the time. So I'll really show you how we make calls, how we work in coordination with each other. And a big part of it is communication with your particular crew. Now, I got a question for you guys. And Stony, you're not allowed to answer this question, but I want to see if anybody else knows the answer. When it comes to an individual, who knows what the single most important thing in a war is? Can anyone tell me what that is?
Not chasing?
I would guess positioning.
You're close. That is
Always right on the point.
Or mobility.
no.
Staying in your quad?
You're close. I would say staying in your quad and doing your job and what you're supposed to do would probably be number two. But number one is don't fucking die. Okay? Staying alive. Your life is more valuable than anything. So when I was with Leandro, if you died more than a handful of times, you got your ass fucking ripped in these VOD reviews because if you're laying on the ground 4 or 5 minutes of that battle, then you are not being useful to the raid because that's minutes wasted where you could be on the battlefield. So the most number one most important thing is your life. So that's kills, how much damage you did, how much fucking healing you did, trying to be POTUS on the board. All of that means absolutely nothing to a good VOD reviewer. A VOD reviewer is going to look at, did you stay in your position? Did you leave your position when you had to and following the calls? Did you communicate with your group? Did you hold your dirt and did you push when you had to and pull when you had to, right? Did you follow the calls? Did you hit the point when they call for point crashes? Things like that. How many times you died? If you died 9, 10 times in a war, there's a problem there. And it's either the plan just didn't work and we were getting trounced, or you're not doing something correctly, or your team's not working in coordination with each other. So when we do the VOD, you'll see you'll we talk constantly in our group, my individual group, back and forth. I get in trouble, a guy comes and peels for me. They're in trouble, I cover fire for them. And that's just basically how we control our zone and then push in when we have to. Very important, Stony, and this one goes directly to you. When we launch and we go for a battle, the battle's going to be determined in the first fight, pretty much. If you can't uh, last that battle out and try to take it,
the initial push really decides whether or not the war is going to be won or not.
absolutely, absolutely, it's very important to play that correctly. So the reason I bring this up is as you can see over here on point C and point A, we commit 3 men and that's it. No more than that, 2 to 3 men, because you're going to take a point for free. Okay, because they're going to give a point up. So you take one guy who's a musket or a bow, you send him over to C. He should be in the 9-10 group, and then you send like a disruptor and a bow or musket over to A. If they commit men to kill these 3 men, that's fine. That weakens them here. Okay. We want as much men committed to this center point as we can. And I would be even remiss to say get rid of the disruptor and just do a range guy. They can take the point. They can pluck horns and things like that, and work the horns a little bit while they're sitting there. And again, if they commit a group here or commit a couple guys here to take these guys out, that just lowers their numbers here. We never sent more than 2 to 3 guys to these 2 points. they will give one up. They will, because they don't want to commit that many, especially if we're playing this right. Okay, so the initial push, you'll see most of the time when you go into these battles, the initial push, you're going to meet right here at the top of the point, usually, because these guys want to set into a position to keep you from funneling. So it becomes a chess match. When you have to switch that OPR brain off. In OPR, I don't give a fuck, man. I'll run into a crowd of fucking 10 people and just start fucking pegging, dude. And if I die, I fucking die, big deal. Right? But I'm taking 2 or 3 of you motherfuckers with me. In war, it is not that. Your job is to cover your zone, work in coordination, and follow calls. So when Stony makes his calls, we are going to mosey to the point. I don't want people rushing in like a freight train in front of each other and just zerging. That is where we get plowed because they are going to be positioned. So we need to match their positioning, right? So when they pour their guys out, they're going to have a couple guys going over and using Bond as a fire. They'll have a couple guys up top plucking, and then they'll have units moving out in this direction, and we'll meet probably over here at this point. At this point, our objective becomes okay. So these points, they they basically are they don't tick any faster for the number of people you have on them like OPR, right? If there's one more foot on that than the other team, it is ticking in our favor. That's how these points work, okay? So we want to have more men on the point, but we don't want to flood the point, and we have to be willing to give up the point if necessary. So the first person who flinches and creates a clump is the one who's the first into trouble, okay? So we start approaching this front line. 1, 2, 3, and 4 want to get into their position. 3, your fire staffs over in your 3 and 4 are going to cover this area between bonfire and the point, okay? And push this area. Your 1, 2, your 3s and 4s, and your 1, 2, 3, 4, all of your armor pieces are going to rush to the front. The first thing that your bruiser should be doing is stunning and delaying as much as possible. There should be a wave of um, oh, god damn it, I always forget the name of that.
Relentless.
No.
Wave.
Not Shockwave. The
Leeching Path of Destiny.
Path of Destiny. Thank you. God damn it, I always forget that one. Path of Destinies should come out. Now, if you have 2 bruisers in your group, you need to decide who's going to go first, who's going to go second. You want to stun as many people on that front line as you can. Then you can start trying to do stuns, get your IGVGs, get your bubbles down, all that different stuff, right? All of that. But you have to be listening to the calls, okay? Because we want to be able to lay that out. You should have showers down. Anyone who has an ice gauntlet, when you hit that front line, there should be showers immediately going down, and frickin' Path of Destinies right through them showers. You want to create a roadblock at that point because you're going to have special teams doing special things, okay? So you're going to have like your 9 and 10. 9 and 10 are going to be kind of your muskets, bows, maybe a fire staff in there and some disruptors, things like that, right? These are specialized units basically for flanking. Then you're going to have your kill squad, your 7 and 8. Okay, kill squad's ultimate objective is to sweep, and if you have to go around deep, that's fine. But your objective is to get into this area. Okay, so ultimately, this is what we want our point to look like. This is an ideal scenario. Everything's working out. Our zones are clear. So 3 and 4 are clear zones. I'm working in the 3 zone. In this VOD, this is my zone, 3. And so I'm working with a couple guys. They do a lot of point rushing. I back them up. I make sure this is clear, and then I just target point when they call for our rush-ins. You want to save your explosions and your things like that, right? For these point crashes. So when Stony calls a crash, everybody, all your bruisers and everything want to crash. Your 7 and 8, your job right here is to be killers of these little green fuckers right here. Okay, this is where they like to position. Back here on this side is the safest spot for their healers. If we could disrupt healing, 7 and 8's job is to rotate in this direction, but make sure your lives are good. If they start fighting back and pushing, pull back, right? You want to stay alive and preserve your life at this point. What we're waiting for them to do is to try to push forward into the point on us and create a clump. When that happens, that's when Stony calls for the crash. Top right, top right, top right. Okay. So Stony, as a shot caller, your most important thing is your cadence. Okay. If we get to a point and things aren't working out, we're starting to die, and you all of a sudden go silent for 5 to 10 seconds, you've lost attention right there. And that's it. That's curtains for the fight. So you have to keep, just like I'm doing now, talk, 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 right? So you keep everybody going at all times. And you'll kind of hear that from Decron when we play the video.
So, for example, if something does go wrong, instead of freaking out and running all over the places, I'm going to call it declump, declump, declump if we have a failed crash. So declumping means we'll be falling back. This is exactly what Damon's talking about. So the terminology for that will be declumping.
I need to interrupt real quick. Damon, where are you guys at? I X'd up in company like 10 minutes ago, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I was a couple minutes late.
We're not doing anything live. I'm just doing it live streaming here and showing examples. So we're not.
Okay.
So basically, you're 1, 2, 3, and 4. You guys are going to be the guardians of these certain points. 1 and 2 is going to be doing a lot of retreating because things will ebb and flow, right? 5 and 6, you're going to be the rotators, right? You're going to try to keep this lane clear and push forward if you can. Same thing with 6. 3 and 4 obviously are guarding this, and then you get your flankers around here to do pinches and squeezes, right, when we need them. You guys can play back here at this point, but you're basically, this is your wheelhouse, 7 and 8. You're moving in this direction to be healer killers, okay? That's going to be your main thing. We need some real fast dexers and some quick killers in this group here. So let's say we end up taking the point, then we move to 3. This is the third. Let's say they gave us A. We're moving to C at this point because we got B locked down finally. But let's go back to B real quick. Rotating is very important because they're going to make breakthroughs in certain areas and push through us, and that's where it's going to become dicey, right? So we don't want to start piling in on them and try to push back. Pushing back is the worst thing we can do. So what we do need to do is we can call clockwise and counterclockwise rotations, right? So if they start breaking through over on this bond side and we got guys dropping over here and they're pushing this area, we can basically call a counterclockwise rotation and everybody's going to pull and rotate in this direction around. That causes a lot of, you'd be surprised how much confusion that actually causes, because these guys who are pushing this way and wanting to force us into this direction now went, where is everybody? Now we're cutting off their spawn point, and that's when they start getting in trouble. So calling clockwise and counterclockwise rotations when things are breaking through on certain sides is very key. So Stony, I think it's great that you're taking on the healer role, because that's really going to give you a view of the battlefield to kind of make calls like that. You know what I mean? Crashes and declumps and things like that.
Yeah, just kind of worked out that love healing wind war. So it was kind of a cool, you know.
Right. So let's say we do end up getting B. We play it right. The calls are right. We're matching group per group, right? So if they start flooding a certain area, your fire staffs need to push and start getting CC down in that area to move that crowd to where we need it. And you'll see exactly how I do it in regard. Somebody's got open mic.
Killer, hot mic.
All right, so here we're moving to C, okay? They gave up A. They let us take C with our 2 guys that were standing there, or our 1 guy that was standing there, whatever. Now we need to move. 9, 10. You got to play a lot of discernment on here. You know, this is going to be our muskets, bows, things like that. Bow's going to be a hot meta in season 10. So we'll kind of see where that goes. You're either going to play this alley and try to cut off respawns from coming out, or you're going to play here with 7 and 8 and try to cut off here, depending on where their crowds are coming out. 2 and 6, you're going to move in this direction, because obviously 2, you either go this way around Bond or go this way around Bond, depending on how hard they're pushing in. but your ultimate goal is to get back to this, right? You want to be in this position again on the points. So that being said, 3, 5, and 1, since you're going to have 1, 5, 3 on your point, you guys are going to push this direction, and your fire staffs on your rear point here are going to saturate this area and push them in this direction, and then the melee just keep pushing in. You keep moving in with your fire staff. Shower, get some showers, block this off. It's a slow dance. You can't push your way into something and expect to just take the point and jump on it. You're going to get fucking murdered. Everything has to be slow and methodical. Ground has to be taken, right? So that being said, if it goes the other direction, obviously it's the same thing but flipped upside down, right? We're trying to get to this other side of the point with 2, 4, and 6 this time, and 1, 5, and 3. Take this side and assume their positions. 9, 10, 7, 8. Try to cut off that respawn point. All right. So that's that. So let's move over to.
David?
Anybody got any questions so far?
Do you mind if I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, for example, everybody, like during the races, when when we move up on those point where it's a huge zerg, and I'm calling slow push, slow push, slow push. That's in relation to what he's talking about. Is you don't just go into that point, flooming in, and expecting to nuke them. We do like what we've been practicing in our races with our slow pushes and staying together and moving our way slowly to that destination without getting murdered along the way. And that's all I had to say.
Perfect.
Yeah,
He's exactly correct. So this is me right here. Leandro, we were on Marama for a long time. We were kind of in battles with Atrocity for the longest time, and then we ended up moving to Lilith because we got tired of all the bullshit. Started new, and then Atrocity followed us and made a guild or a company they called Astro City. So this is us against Astro City, and this was a very tough fight, but we ended up winning the fight. But this was my days of Icefire, and I picked this specific VOD because I think it showcases really everything I've been talking about covering ground, taking ground, holding ground, working with your team in Canary comms, things like that. You'll hear us. We chatter the whole fucking time, and if I get in trouble and I get a disruptor on me, I say, hey man, I'm in trouble. This disruptor's on me, and one of my guys will be like, I'm peeling for you. Boom. I got him right there peeling from me. I escape. You'll see I make some miraculous escapes and everything. So, all right.
Before we kick it off, does anybody have any questions on what we just went over? Feel free to speak, please, or forever hold your peace. Everybody's locked.
Cool.
You understand?
Well done. I'm looking forward to this VOD.
All right,
Knowledge.
cool.
This is a great VOD, man. I have some other better ones where we really crush people, but this one was good because I made a lot of mistakes. This was early on when we first got the Lilith. Okay, you'll hear Decron. He's a little silent at the beginning, but once we get on point, you'll see that crash zone at the top of the point where everybody tops. I hang back. I start securing my zone. That's my objective. My objective is to secure that bottom left zone, help on crashes, secure the bottom left zone on the other points, and then we wrap around to E once we go to Fort Phase.
Pushing out. Three on my ping. So get in. Move forward here.
All right, here we go.
Hey,
All right, I'm gonna get tragic magic.
Okay, now normally in this war right now, see how clumped these guys are. All right, so normally what would end up happening is they would push right through the middle of us because we would go right through point, and then these guys on this side of Bond would wrap around and just pinch us in, and then they run right fucking through us. And that's what's been happening every war. Here, once you secure your zone, you have everybody push back. We have that meeting point where everybody meets. Things will spread out naturally. They'll realize, oh, this isn't a pushover. These guys know what they're doing. So watch how they secure this zone.
Stickers on you guys already.
Nice old manage, guys. Yeah, tragic magic. Let's set a point. If you want to get active here. I'm spinning right now. He can die. He can die. Stay on him. Stay on him. Alright. He screamed. Play off that sacred. Get off that
Popping
sacred.
here.
Back
Hey,
off.
B-point, continue to push up on the left side here.
I have a sacred ready.
Oppo Bond, do what
Alright,
you can. Hold
put the
that
sacred on
line.
left side of point.
There's
Left side of
a
point.
wall behind the
Sacred
table
on king
top
right now,
left
single
here.
on
Yep,
king.
got a
yep.
spear on me.
Okay, see, I called for it. I got a spear on me. This guy is doing exactly what his job is. This guy's job is not to kill me. Okay, that guy's job is to keep me from killing them. Okay, so he wants to keep me as busy as possible. That's all a disruptor does. They're not out there for glory. They're not out there to kill people. They're out there to slow people down and fucking bug the shit out of you until you get help to get them off you.
I'm trying to get to you guys, but I got a spear locking me down.
Yep.
Okay.
Let
Clapping
me
now,
know if
booty.
you need pills. Drop it like it's hot.
Did you hear my partner? Let me know if you need peels. Drop it like it's hot. That's my character. Drop it like it's hot. So he was saying, "I hear you. Do you need a peel?" I say yes. He comes in and peels, and I escape.
Eight-point tick
Single
is
now,
happening.
booty.
8-point, talk to me
Another
here.
booty.
I need somebody to peel, man. I got a spear all over me.
Right side, look at
Let's
right
get
side.
that
Look
left
for the
side of point.
recrash here on B-point.
Clapping now.
You see how King's play came right up and created a block for me, and I moved right into the point where he's calling for the crash.
Right now. You can
Got
fight
it.
that.
Look at right side in
Get up here.
5,
Fight
4,
that. Left side of
3,
point. Down on the
2,
granny's dead. Spinning right now.
Sacred now, booty.
Oh, close call.
Mistake one. Firestaff should not be that close to the point unless he calls all in. So I sat there in their healing circle, way too close to the point. Stupid mistake. I should have been back in my zone.
Massive white, spread here. Spread
Sacred
here.
in 10.
Spread
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Single
Do
king.
that.
Do not have a recrash. Fucking
Their lights are all
Second in 1
spreading
second.
out,
Push
crowding us.
heater right now.
Sacred now, booty. Sacred now.
Think
Single
about
clap
that.
now, booty.
Turn into point. Turn into point. And then on that left side of point, Brady.
Respawning.
A
Never
and
mind.
C are
I'm getting off
taking.
point.
A and C are
Again,
taking. B
Mansky's
point.
right there.
Look for the recrash here. Look for the recrash
Bruiser's
here.
off a point.
We got one guy on A and one guy on C in this war. They're just letting it happen, right? They don't care because they realize on B that this is for real. Okay. Once they realize it's for real and they're not rolling through you, they're going to fucking give up on A and C. That's why I say you don't want to commit too many guys to that. Committing whole units to A and C and just trying to get lucky to take one is not the way to fight a war.
Point here. This is
Look
weird.
at top right
Yep.
about B point in 5, 4.
All right, we can get a little bit
Right,
step. We have a lot of
two,
space.
I think they're
one.
rotating.
Right side,
I don't know.
right
That's
side, right
kind
side.
of
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
They're
we're
coming
not-
back to you.
Make sure we're ticking, make sure we're ticking.
Yeah,
Yeah, yo, inner lane is heavy. Inner lane is heavy.
Give up a right.
Watch-
Spread,
Sacred's on
spread,
demon.
here.
Mid left.
Right here. We got
Yeah,
8-point
left
take
side,
happening.
left side. Yeah.
Dog
Bottom
them on
left. I step
bot
on.
A
left here,
lot
bot
in
left
top
here.
on. A lot in
They
top
can't
on.
escape to the
Yeah.
top.
Long daddy.
See, all I'm doing is sitting in my zone and just playing.
I got him.
Yeah, stay on long
job,
daddy. Stay
Sacred,
on long daddy.
sacred right up,
Get
right
that
on. Right, rotates are coming in from C. Rotates are
Yeah.
coming in from C.
Hurt.
Did you see how he called for rotate? Rotate's coming in from C.
Fight can die as well. Stay on WTS sacred. That's a healer. That's a healer. Top left point.
Spread if you can.
All right, push a
Spread if
little
you
bit.
can.
Man, I got decks all over me.
Right now.
Hey, we have a
Right
lot
next
in
to
mid bond.
Incredible.
Sacred. Staying on that. Staying on that.
Sacred's on you guys.
See how I move? I move, but I stay within my zone, right? If I have to leave my zone, that's okay, but you need to get back to your zone. So you tell your guys, our zone's done, our zone's flooded, we need to get guys back to our zone. And anyone who's there on your unit should pull back to the zone if there's not a call for point crash at this point.
Hold it top point.
I'm playing top on. I'm top on.
All right. I see it.
Looking right off of
All right, where you at,
Let me
dude?
know when you're next. Yeah. I'll get on that left side.
Right side.
Sacred in
right
2
side,
seconds.
recrash,
Sacred on that left side
right
point.
side
I'll
here.
let
Single now
Right
king.
right now.
side.
Sacred now
I'm
booty.
binding 3, 2, 1. Fine.
Single now
Right,
king.
spread
Left
here,
side
spread
point.
here, spread here. We want it.
Another.
We want it. Spread.
Thank you.
Spread on B point. We take it on this one.
Don't do what I just did. If a guy leaves your zone and he's retreating like that, fucking leave him alone. That's greed. That's stupid. Go back to your zone and pay attention to what's going on and listen for the crashes.
That's an example of OPR brain.
That is OPR brain.
I got sacred ready. I'm right there with you.
All right, I'm coming back.
Sacred's up on
Top
demon.
point.
Mid up, both.
Beautiful. Dog top left. Dog top left.
Watch that
Hey,
crap.
hey, get
Watch
out
that
top
crap.
left. Top left.
Clapping here.
Get him
Clapping.
out.
Top of point here. Top of point.
When you get it.
Single now king.
Damn, this has to be pretty sweet right here about the
Everybody play all in.
cat B.
Everybody all in.
Everybody step on.
There it goes. Whoa.
Beautiful. Pushing to C point.
All right.
Get to C
Pushing
before
up
they
to
do.
Mansky. Pushing up.
Right at the very end, when we're just about to take that point, that's when Stoney, you call it all toes on point. And that's when I rushed the point and jumped in. We finished it off. Now we head to C. We want to get to C as quickly as possible at this point, right? So remember how everybody was told to go.
Get to fucking C point.
All right, we got C. Head to C.
So I'm going to go along the bottom side of the point, try to clear out that zone on the opposite side, Autobahn side, and get up on the left side. That's our goal.
Alright, hold it up for everybody to get here. Hold, don't push in, don't push in.
We're going around left side. I'm right with you, dude.
One, push across our road, push across our road here. We're pushing deep into
So I move over to my zone and I start showering and dropping everything.
Pause real quick, Damon.
Sacred's on board.
Thank you. Illy, what was your question?
Question was just, is it the same quadrants on each point?
Yes,
Absolutely.
actually the same reference on every point that you go. So how he's shown you and described how we rotate and what's the front and back and so on and so forth is going to be the same
1,
perspective.
2, 3, 4, every point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. However, you do have to understand though that one and C are like on opposite sides. So it kind of gets confusing the way you go in to wrap around the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, basically when you're in the 3 zone on any point, you will be in that bottom left corner. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So as you can see, this is all I'm going to do is I'm holding my zone right now. I'm going to put as much ice down here, showers, firestorms, anything I can to keep them from penetrating my area. That's all I care about at this point. When Decron calls for top right, top left, whatever he calls for, I will shower that point. My job as a fire staff is not to get kills. I fucking don't care. You could be a fire staff, you get 0 kills. The whole fight, I don't care. As long as you're controlling your zone, you're doing your job, and you will get a good VOD review. So that's it. Now, my mistake there was I got too far in because I followed the hill circle that disappeared right after. I should have backed out and moved over here and showered, right? To kind of pinch him in at that point. Also, what I didn't do was communicate with my team and let them know that I was pinned in there. I could have had a bruiser come in and help me or a disruptor come in there and help me. So communication in your canary is very key. And that was one of the real points that I wanted to highlight. Stupid, and I got yelled at for that. So
I have a sacred on you, King. Kill now.
Pull it in top if you can.
Coming back in from B. I'm down.
16 seconds.
I think we were a little early on that. G9
Hey, right
wasn't
side,
there, I
right
don't
side,
think.
recrash, right
Yeah,
side.
it's okay.
3, 2, 1, right side right here, right
Where
side
you
here.
at?
They have nothing. They're paying.
Waiting on you, baby.
It's looking pretty bad on
I'm on the road right now. I'm just waiting on you guys.
Bot middle here. Dog
Throwing
towards
sacred
top
for
side.
G9.
Point team, look top. Point team, look top.
makes me want to go back to ice fire.
Crashing here. Once you get your detonate, hold your shit.
Yeah,
Look
for
at
sure.
recrash. Look at recrash, right side. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, it's probably going to be busy. Deep freeze with that 15% boost and the ice gem in your fire staff. I mean, it's fucking sick.
That's him in right now, Illy.
I'm left side.
Yeah, that's just, it's unbeatable.
All right, now we need to wrap. He's making the call to wrap wide. We're going to push our zone.
All right, right now.
Sacred's like mid.
They have a
Bottom of
solid
point.
See how I showered? Keep them nice and blocked out. Fill the area, push them back. Do not let them break that point into your zone.
Granny Smith.
Look at recrash, top right. 5.
Sacred now on King.
Alright, this side is cut out.
Everything right side. Everything right side. Everything right side.
I'm gonna need a heal.
Full stun. Single now, Demon.
Okay, let's regroup and help out behind. Play on the bottom.
Alright, they're back on the road.
Sacred on King. Sacred on King. Bot left.
Hey, left side is
Play off
steppable
of
here.
that
Left side is
sacred. Their healer's on the
steppable.
left side.
I see you.
Sacred is their healer. I'm rotating
hold
to that
bottom.
Looking
right
for the
now.
recrash. Looking for the
I'm
recrash.
wide bot left. I'm wide bot left.
I'm right with you.
Hold for the
Have a
recrash.
sacred
Hold for
ready.
the recrash. It's
Look
looking
at
like it's
bottom
gonna
of
be
point.
top right here.
Die. That's the
Pots, I need you stepping here.
Clover can die.
Beautiful wipes right off
We should do. We have. Alright, we have space on left. Help out that crash.
Honestly, I had the best healer with me, and that's why I survived that. Demon was amazing.
Sacred's mid oppo.
Alright, never mind. It's not going off yet. Alright,
Smith, let's set a point.
Alright, there's a healer right there. Silver bunny.
We're taking here. Quad, step.
Healer right in the back.
Looking for the recrash. Expect the recrash
Sacred's
here.
up. I have a
Expect the
sacred.
recrash here.
Alright, put that sacred on the bottom left point.
And there goes Daddy, right on him.
Hold on, dude.
Yep,
A lot of people on me. I'm gonna bind this.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I'm putting
Heal
numbers
now,
on
heal
him.
now.
I'm tripping him.
Ice one
Right
behind
now.
you.
Yep, all of them low.
I'm
Lumberjack
tripping.
and die, lumberjack and die.
Yep, yep.
Let's set a point,
They can
let's set a
die.
point.
They can die.
Ace
They
main.
can die.
We won that crash.
Left,
I have a sacred ready.
Green pressure, green
So many
pressure.
of them are so
Yeah, yeah.
low.
Make sure you're hitting your fire pods. Make sure you're
Sacred's up
hitting
on
your
king. Single knock king.
Alright, spinning right now. Spinning right
A
now.
lot of white
I'm
space
binding right now.
Free step up top. Free
Push
step
up,
up top
push up.
here.
We should be right off the bat.
It depends. Honestly, I don't pay attention to that a whole lot. Really, what I pay attention to is where is red and where is my zone. How do I shove them out of the zone? If I'm doubling up, that's okay. I just try to drop it on top of enemies to force them to get pushed back in the dirt, right? Because that's ultimately my goal, is really to just control that corner. And as you can see, I'm pretty flooded over there. But that's okay because I'm keeping them at bay a little bit. I'm kind of just holding them. I'm showering every once in a while to keep them from pushing up on me. And look at the point. You have a clump right there in the bottom corner of the point that Decron keeps hitting. So eventually that point's going to fall, and then that'll open up that left side because they'll start moving towards the point out of desperation, right?
Granny Smith. Yeah. Granny Smith. Granny Smith.
Left side, recrash left
Watch
side
that
right
crash.
now.
Clapping
Recrash
that hot.
Oblivion top left.
Recrash left side right now.
Don't
Gonna
show.
hot.
Center left, center left,
Watch
center
that left
left.
side. Don't
Dog
back
to
and
the
die.
bottom left.
Sacred's
dog
on you,
to the
king.
bottom left.
Left side point.
Getting on point.
I'm wide,
Getting
wide.
on point. Get ready for the crash.
Sacred's at
They're gonna
75.
crash.
Sacred at 75.
Just
Left side of point. Oh, big
Push
time.
up, push up, push up, push up.
Start looking for that all in.
Alright,
Single
Looking
knock.
for that all in.
everybody,
We're
everybody
waiting
getting
for it,
all
we're
in.
waiting for
Everybody
I'm down.
Honestly, not a lot you can do about that. I got sideswiped. I didn't really do anything wrong there. But yeah, like I said, they don't like when you start getting 3 to 5 to 7 deaths. They don't like it.
He's on you, booties.
Responding.
Yeah,
Three,
get on
two,
point. Get on
one,
point.
top
Hold
left,
your
right
shields
off
on
the
point. Hold your shields on point.
here.
Make sure Pop
Use
is
your
behind
behind it.
Oh, we got it. We got it. We got it.
Single
All
knock
in,
demon.
everybody
clear
all
on
in,
the other
everybody
side.
all in, everybody all in, everybody all in, everybody
Nice.
That's it. That's it.
Do not let them get the fort here.
8 minutes.
Do not let them get back.
Okay, here's another dumb thing I do.
We're
Holding block.
E door,
Great
right?
fucking
Echo?
job.
Yes.
Leanne.
Yeah,
Keep
door.
it up.
Echo.
Keep
Get us
pushing.
back. You're going to the left. To the left. You guys doing fantastic so far.
Yeah, good shit.
Oh my god. Because I WD.
Because I'm dumb. That's
He's
why.
still at the flag. I need to buy some.
Okay, you don't do that as a fire staff. I got too greedy and thought, man, I'm gonna get these fuckers going in the door, right? Don't do that. That was stupid.
Cleanses.
Yeah, buy.
Give me a favor. Don't hit the
That was stupid.
Mansky better fucking die.
keg.
I even said it to myself. That was stupid.
He's griefing.
He's.
Don't wait for it. Just go. Just let him grieve.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going.
Fuck him. Let's just go.
Alright, I'm getting a cake.
All right, we're going around back, right?
I've got a
Yeah,
keg as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Alright.
We are E gates.
Just
E
don't
gates.
hit door, please. Do
Alright.
not hit door.
I'm running a little behind. I
Or got
died,
four back there.
but I'm
As
on
you're
my
walking
way.
past, if your range hit these ones.
Okay.
So just make sure you're going to your assigned door. We hit through E gate. They were using a little dynamite and things like that. But basically, you want to try to get as many of the doors open as possible. Our goal here, once we get through the door, is going to be to protect that stage over on the east side and drop down into hell if you have to. But really, our job was to control that stage back there.
There's already a cake here.
And you're going to see how we controlled it and how we didn't control it.
It's fine, it's fine,
Back up.
It's ours. It's demons. It's demons.
It's fine, it's fine.
That scared the shit out of me.
What the fuck? That would have been a hell of a play, though.
They're not contesting this. We have an edge right now.
I don't hear me, dude. That's not good. I want to go straight to their shots. I want to.
Beautiful. Thank you for communicating that. That's what I call effective main comms.
Hold on,
All
I'm
right?
not here.
Right, I ran in and got hit pretty hard, so I had to run back out.
Looking like
Thank you.
Sacred's ready. Sacred's
All right, let's push out
halfway in
and
the
pop
gate.
that
Okay.
thing now.
we're looking to push
Rotate
in
them,
on
rotate on them.
5,
Hurry, hurry. Put everything you can. Put everything you
Oh, I
can.
got
Fight
hold.
right now. Fight right now.
2, 1. Were you staggered?
Alright, we almost
I got on the healer.
That was
I'm on
fine.
the healer.
Hey,
That was
hold,
fine.
hold off on the push. Hold off on the push.
I'm
Hold
on
off on the
We're
push.
pushing it. We're
We're
pushing
waiting
it.
for
Sacred's on
Seagate.
booty. Sacred's on you, booty.
Push in. Everybody get behind him. And then get on
All right,
Scarecrow.
BK, we're
I'm on
pushing
that
through.
free
We're heading to
caster.
C. BK, we're
Scarecrow
pushing. We're
is
heading to C
stuck
here.
here. Could die. Stuck
AK,
here.
push in.
He's one.
AK, push in.
Get on.
They're all
Get
low.
him.
Fine,
Get him.
fine,
Get him.
fine.
There. Alright, let's push this fight up to their shop.
They can't hold this for long.
I want you guys looking at
Destroy their shop.
Seagate. Point team, I want you looking at Seagate.
I'm
Alright.
top. I'm toppy. I'm toppy.
Seagate, push
Clapping
through.
knocking.
Seagate, push
Yeah.
through here. You have your entire point team.
Sacred's
Hold
on you.
it in your hand. Let's go. White these. White these motherfuckers on Seagate.
All right, so go back to my position. Hold this position.
Backstage. Healer's free casting on backstage.
Alright, let's go to the stage and let's just say fuck this. Get them.
Season.
Get them off the stage.
That's G8.
Seizing stripped.
Yeah.
No, it is-
Yeah.
it's some form.
See, as you can see, he kept saying we need to clear this stage. That's our goal right here. We have to keep this area clear. Everybody keeps their individual goal and stays spread out. We don't get zerged.
Yep. Pull it.
Hey,
through.
top left is
Exactly.
pretty frail right now.
Clear
Point
stage,
team, I need you on point.
Clear
Get
stage.
started.
Well,
Start
Okay,
point.
then we'll
That's
pull
it.
through.
Make 'em
Yeah,
panic.
same first.
Yeah, direction usually helps when you need help.
Healer right there.
All right, I'm down on dirt. I got forced down.
Don't let Scissors know.
It's all right.
2, 1. Right side point. Right side point. Right side
Alright,
point here.
let's push it.
So dirt's clear right now, so I'm just gonna go and pelt the point a little bit.
Look at hell.
He almost
Right
had
up
it
a
up.
point.
Take it. Oh,
Get out of right
you
side.
guys
Get out of right side.
pulled.
Don't be
Sorry, I
crashing.
was
Get
not
out of
aware.
right side.
Again, most important thing is my life. I do not want to die in fort.
I'm still top
One through
east.
Right
six,
up point
you
right
need to be
now.
stepping and ticking. 1 through 6.
Look
Step
at this.
and
Look at
tick.
this top
Step
right
and
quad.
tick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at top right
Right
quad.
side, recrash, right side. 3, 2, 1.
Still knocking.
Right side here. Right
I'm
side
buying
here.
Healing
Right
for
side,
E horns.
far
I'm
right,
gonna
far
E
right, far right.
horns.
Everything far right. They have nothing. They have
Alright, we're
fucking
getting.
nothing.
We got here. We're getting this tick here.
Beautiful.
Play on our
Sacred's
point.
on king.
Point.
Right side of point.
All fucking all main ball
died?
groups. You
LD?
need a fucking tick here. If you're a BGIG, you're on point right now. You're throwing. Don't make me call your
Still
name
getting
out.
ticked.
Step on fucking point.
Sacred's top right here.
Respawns are
Damon.
coming. Hold for
Alright,
the
I'm heading
recrash.
to
Hold for the
hell, and I'm
recrash.
Respawn's coming
Point
right
team,
now.
communicate to me. I'm outside.
I've got everything. I'm holding it though.
Just keep fighting in that. Dirt.
Alright, they
Keep an eye
have
out for
back.
I'm there, I
back
got
stage
you.
control. They have
I'm
stage
right on
control.
you,
You
Booty.
can go switch stage.
Two,
Then.
one,
Yeah,
bot
touching
left.
that.
Everything bot
Yeah,
left.
they have stage control right now.
I'm pushing the stage.
All right, so they're going to push the stage.
Dog on point. Dog on point. We got lots of kills here.
Oh, they're
We got lots
repairing.
of kills here. Dog
So now I need to go with them, help push stage.
I'm getting bombarded from the top. They're controlling stage.
Hold.
So they're not hot.
Are you
I'm on the other side of you.
are you still using the quad system while in the fort, or holding on to your gate?
Right now on our dirt. Sitting on our dirt.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you still using a quad system here, or are you using your gate as your point of reference for making calls?
Nope, gate is our point of reference. The quad system kind of goes out the window when you're in fort phase. Fort phase is a little bit different. So it really depends. Your kill squads a lot of times will be guys who they'll run around heaven. They'll go to the top of ramparts. They'll do things like that. They'll look for the healers or the fire staffs that are up top raining down, right? Those kind of guys. And then you'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your point teams will usually be down on the dirt on point, right? Those will be relatively the same. Everything else you're kind of spread out. So you want to keep control off of the stage. You also want to make sure that if you are not in control of the stage, you have a place on the dirt where you can run to. Because again, the most important thing is your life here, right? I don't want to die for any reason. So I'm willing to run, jump off the side of the fort, do whatever I have to do to not die, right? Other than that, your point teams, yeah, they're pretty much the same because you're going to have your tanks down here trying to get control on the point and just take all the damage that they take and things like that, right?
Rotated back up to
Look at John.
back up to stage. Rotating back up to stage.
Sacred's bot stairs. Yeah, they.
But as you can see, the most clearest thing and the most important thing that's going on here is the constant communication. The only guy that's in the shot caller channel is Decron going top right, top right, top right, top right. Oh, that's all him shot calling, right? Everything else is my channel, my team staying in communication with each other all the time. And that's super, super key. Cohesion within your group is so important in wars, because if you're hanging out by yourself and everybody's hanging out by themselves, or you have a couple guys traveling together with no healer or things like that, and you can see how without coordination things can go awry very quickly.
They have a stage. I'm full stun.
Trying to repair again? They're trying to repair again.
I got you, Grim. I got you, Grim. Back up, back up.
I'm good.
Yeah.
God,
The other side of stage.
fucking annoying about the repairs.
Popping here.
Now I should be out of the dirt helping my guys right here.
I need heal. Okay. Here, I need sacred on it.
Sacred now, baby. No.
Emma can die. Emma.
Everybody start stepping. Start ticking. I need some tickers right now.
Take that 40. Take that 40. We got time.
I'm on
Have a
lumberjack.
sacred.
Pull our shield up, and we got a little bit of.
Recrash ball left in 3, 2, 1.
Point tick.
Bot left, right up.
Bot left.
Sacred's right side of point.
Left,
Sacred's right side of point.
left.
There's fucking 4 gates.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. We got 16 minutes. Let's go ahead and destroy all of the repair part shops.
Decron's mic went out.
Recrash. Left side. 3, 2.
I have a sacred ready.
Left side right now. Left side
Oh,
right
they
now.
just got
Left side right now.
Holy shit.
Sacred on you. Top right.
Keep getting
Keep
close to the close to the pump.
Get closer to. We got 16 minutes. All these shops.
Take that 60%.
Hey, top left is fucking fatality worthy. Come on, folks.
Sacred's ready.
Look at Klaus
Sending
Anderson
top
right
left
off the
in
point.
3, 2.
Sacred's bot stairs.
Left
Body
center,
stairs.
top center here. Top center here.
Top left, top. Yeah, top right, top right, top right.
Alright, take your time. I'm destroying all their shops.
All right, dirt's getting a little nasty for me, so I need to move up back to my point.
Looky bot left here. If you got something, bot left in 3, 2, 1. Bottom of point.
Single now. King.
That's what's getting right now. They're getting
Sacred's
no
on
more
you. King.
parts.
Stairs.
All right, I chased everybody off, so I'm just gonna hold my position there and rain on the down on dirt.
Yeah, definitely.
We're looking top side. We're taking top side here. If you're respawning right now,
I'm
respawning your
still
actual gates.
smacking
Gates down.
Klaus Anderson.
Alright. Sacred's on you, King.
Look at Weebles on stage.
Recrash, looking for recrash
Tell
here.
people who died
It's gonna
to
be-
grab a.
Actually, let's get a full.
Did you see that stupidity? Okay, dumb. What did I do? I saw a guy walk by with this little tiny sliver of his bar, and I fucking instantly switched to OPR brain. I could get that kill. I could get up on the board with that, right? Bad. I'm leaving my zone, and I'm doing something stupid.
We have way too many gates up. I need all these gates down.
Look what happens.
If you are alive right now in fort, go up top.
The minute I turn my back and go and fucking chase somebody on OPR brain, I now just gave up my positioning in my zone. You know how bad I got my fucking ass chewed for that?
If you're alive in fort,
Respawn's
go
just
up
hit.
top. Let's get these sides.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, come on, that was me.
Doing so good for a while there.
Yeah, like there's no fucking reason they were able to get
I'm on
4
top of
gates
you.
up.
I'm on top
Let's
of
get
you.
those gates down and then we'll
moving
reattack.
up
We got plenty of
All
time
their
here.
shops
Leo.
are destroyed. Every single
So
one.
again, now I'm laying on the dirt wasting time because of stupidity, right?
Go 14 minutes. We're chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
It's
so
really
slow.
I don't think we need to go a ton further with this unless you guys want to watch it out. But I think you get the basic idea, right? So first off, when we start going into and doing wars again, we need to definitely get in some practice with some canary comms, do some things like that. Communication's got to be there with your groups. We really need to start doing the OPRs. I know he schedules them and then they really don't happen, or you're trying to get together and nobody can get together with your groups. We need to like designate some time where we can do that and things like that. Stoney, I'd love to sit down with you, create raid plans with you so we can, really hone things and tighten things up. Yeah. Questions? Anything? You guys want to continue watching it or you want to break us up?
No, I was in a bunch of different companies and wars before, and I think that was just really clean and well done. So thank you. And I think probably people took a lot of positivity away from this.
Great. I'm glad to hear that, man. I just, like I said, I've been in almost 200 wars. I've been with some of the top tier companies. I was a shot caller for a while, and well, that takes a lot out of you. I commend Stoney for wanting to take that responsibility on. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. But I think he's got a lot.